What does that mean? What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces, can't take a shower? Come on, man.
The voice of Elijah Cummings was a powerful, commanding one. A former member of the Maryland House of Delegates for 13 years and a member of the U.S. House of Representatives for 23½ years, he was a driving force in America. In a posthumous article released by The New Yorker the day after his death, Cummings is characterized as present, a powerful politician who still spoke like a concerned neighbor.
1 year ago today, on my mother's dying bed at 92 years old, former sharecropper, her last words were, "Do not let them take our votes away from us." She had fought and seen people harmed, beaten, trying to vote. Talk about inalienable rights. Voting is crucial, and I don't give a damn how you look at it. There are efforts to stop people from voting.
Elijah Cummings' parents were former sharecroppers, a form of economic slavery that was widely used to control freed slaves in the African American population post-Reconstruction and further, which was the time period after the North pulled out of the South following the Civil War. Sharecropping was a system in which a landlord allows a tenant to use their arable land in return for a share of the crop. However, in this time period, just enough or more of the crop yield was taken in order to ensure that the tenant was unable to grow economically and was held in a form of debt slavery they were unable to get out of. Elijah Cummings broke economic barriers by rising from his parents' situation, as sharecropping is considered by many to be slavery under another name. This shattered an economic barrier as he rose up to become a political powerhouse, which was evidently far surpassing his parents' humble beginnings. When Elijah Cummings was 11, he broke one of the most momentous, overpowering barriers that has plagued American society for centuries: segregation. Elijah Cummings integrated Riverside Park Pool in South Baltimore with the help of NAACP lawyer Juanita Jackson Mitchell. Cummings received a scar on his eyebrow after a white mob began to throw rocks, bottles, and cans over the police unit protecting the children. That scar stayed with him for life. Elijah Cummings also broke racial barriers while in the Maryland House of Delegates. In 1993, Cummings was selected as the first African American speaker pro tempore. He was the first African American speaker pro tempore in the Maryland House of Delegates, a legislative body that is over 350 years old, and his legacy carries on today. Today, the Maryland House of Delegates has an African American speaker and speaker pro tempore, Adrian A. Jones and Cherie Sample Hughes. Elijah Cummings' election opened the doors to leaderships for many African American legislators, including Adrian A. Jones, who just got elected as the first female and the first female African American speaker of the Maryland House of Delegates. Today, many African Americans hold leadership positions in the Maryland legislature, filling in the hefty shoes of Maryland's first black speaker pro tempore, Elijah Cummings.
Better than that. But I'm just saying to you, I want to first of all thank you. I know that this has been hard. I know that you face a lot. I know that you are worried about your family. But this is a part of your destiny. And hopefully, this portion of your destiny will lead to a better Michael Cohen, a better Donald Trump, a better United States of America, and a better world. And I mean that from the depths of my heart. When we're dancing with the angels, the question will be asked, in 2019, what did we do to make sure we kept our democracy intact? Did we stand on the sidelines and say nothing?
Elijah Cummings was a political stalwart who drove the collective moral and political spirit in local, state, and national political community by reaching across the aisle and yet still staying firm in his own views. The very crux of the committee he chaired is often partisan investigations into the government operations of the opposing political party. However, Cummings managed to form numerous lasting friendships and partnerships with Republican and conservative representatives such as Mark Meadows, Trey Gowdy, and Chip Roy. Cummings worked with Gowdy to investigate Benghazi, and while the two often clashed politically, not a single cross word was ever said out of office. They worked together once more when Gowdy chaired the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, which Cummings would eventually chair before his untimely death. In 2018, Elijah Cummings co-sponsored 70 bipartisan bills, and 6 of the 21 bills that he wrote and were voted into law were bipartisan. Senator Lindsey Graham once described Cummings as a good man who would help even a political opponent, and Nancy Pelosi once said, "He always chose to reach across the aisle and treat all of our colleagues with respect and even had a dialogue with the president on this subject." While from the naked eye, Elijah Cummings comes across as a strongly partisan man, when you delve deeper into his politics, his identity, and his beliefs, the compromising but firm man comes out. In the heavily polarized and partisan political community today, it is a feat on its own to reach across party lines continuously in order to do what is right for the American people, while still keeping your constituencies and your views in sight.
We had a new teacher to come in. His name was Howard Posey when I was in the 6th grade. And he says, "You know, son, you look very sad." I said, "I am sad." He said, "Why?" I said, I feel like a caged bird. I feel like I'm locked in." He said, "Well, why do you feel that way?" I said, "Well, I'm in special ed, and I think I can do better than that." He said, "Tell you what, I want you to go to the Enid Pratt Library," which was the only integrated institution in my neighborhood. And he said, "We're going to have the regular arithmetic books and the regular reading books. We're going to tutor you. We're going to work with you, get you out of special ed." Steve, I would go after school, wouldn't play baseball, football, just study. Finally got out. But the people who helped me the most were the librarians. They would get off, I think, at 7 o'clock at night. They would work. And they were white. And they're dead now, but they believed in me.
Why do you think?
You know, I think what it is I think people, adults, when they see children trying to be the best that they can be, I'm sure you've done it in your life. You see some young guy come along and you say, "You know, I really want to help him because he reminds me of me," or something clicks, and you simply want to be a part of their destiny.
Baltimore's graduation rates have always been low, substantially less than other major urban cities in America. Some of this has to do with the drugs pumped into black communities, such as methamphetamine, crack cocaine, and heroin. However, another reason Baltimore youth's graduation rates have always been low is because of widespread use of lead paint in Baltimore homes, poisoning 3 times the amount of children that is the national rate. Lead paint is known to affect the cognitive ability and certain parts of the body like joints, bones, and the nervous system. Also, high gun violence rates cause some of Baltimore's youth to die before they have the chance to graduate. Against all odds, Elijah Cummings graduated from high school with honors in 1969. He then attended the historically black Howard University, graduating in 1973. In 1976, he graduated from the University of Maryland School of Law. He also received 12 honorary doctorates from various universities, the most recent of which being from the University of Maryland in 2017. Not only did Elijah Cummings graduate high school, but college and law school. He built a successful career in law and eventually his own law practice, and had a political career that spanned 37 years, starting and ending in his beloved hometown. Baltimore.